Ho, ho, ho! Good tidings! Well, stuff my stockings. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, welcome to Qyjari's Curious Crafts. Today on Aunt Anne's Tree, I'm going to be showing you how to make this adorable little leprechaun. So let's get started. All right, first, tools and materials. You will need 4 different colors of felt. Whoopsie. We have some flesh-colored felt here. This one is called tangerine. This one's called pirate green. And this is just a scrap of black felt that I had. You can choose any variety of these colors, however you want to make your little leprechaun. You will also need the pattern, of course. And if you want my pattern, you just need to go to my Discord channel, and it is available there under the Aunt Anne's Tree category, under the patterns. You will also need matching DMC floss. I use DMC. There are other ones available, but the numbers I give you today are for DMC. To match the tangerine, you'll need 720. To match the pirate green, you'll need 895. And of course, 310 is black. You will not need any flesh colored floss because we're going to attach the beard to the face with the tangerine color. You will also need 2 3mm black beads for his eyes. And you will need a variety of sequins and seed beads if you want to add those to the beard, which we are going to do today. And I have those here. I've also got them already in my little tray. I also went to a local craft store, and I found these little shamrocks that we're going to use. Put them on his little hat. It came with 8 of them, and some of them were not glittered, and some were.
Well, look what
Well,
the
hello,
cat
Raynick. Thank you for joining me today. If you don't have any of these, you can create them with felt, but I thought that gave it a nice 3-dimension look. They're not buttons, they're just little, I guess, little trinkets or something. They don't have any other backing on them, no sticky, nothing. It's just a set of 8 that came in this package. Like I said, 4 of them are not glittered, so if you want, you can just get some glitter paint. I have, well, let's use the green for this example because I do have the gold here for another reason. And just paint them if you'd like. We're not going to do that today, but you can if you don't find any that have glitter on them. For the buckle on his hat, I've used a wide ribbon here. I believe this is 1.5 inches. And it is just a very thin gold ribbon, gold glitter ribbon, that I have cut into the shape of a belt buckle, and that is glued on. You'll also need an 1/8 inch green ribbon to match the pirate green on his hat. And that is to make the loop at the top for your ornament hook. And that's if you want to make him into an ornament. And that just slips right through there, and hang him wherever you'd like. Maybe you have a St. Patty's Day tree. As far as the gold, if you can't find glitter ribbon to make his buckle, you can always just use plain ribbon, like a gold color, or you can even use the black felt to make it, and then just paint it with the gold glitter if that's the way you want to go. Let's see, I think I've covered everything here except this little pencil. It's a colored pencil that I have in my craft area that I do use for faces for some of my ornaments, but when I made my jointed fairies, my very large jointed fairies that I have on a Northland Fairies website. I use these to do their faces, and I always put a finishing spray on those because it's a different kind of fabric. But for this, you'll just need to use the pencils. And this is just to give his little cheeks a rosy glow. As far as tools, of course, our sewing scissors. These are good sewing scissors for fabric only. You'll need some way to stuff his little head and his little hat, because these are gently stuffed. I use these hemostats, but you can also use, I have tiny little knitting needle here, metal knitting needle that you can use also. I find that a chopstick works too if you don't have anything else. Of course, you'll need some embroidery needles and some pins for cutting out the pattern. So let's get started. Move all these aside. I already have the pattern cut out. It's the one my original, so I'll just set that one aside. Does it look dark in here? Let me see if I can fix that lighting. I don't know why that looks a little dark. Does that look dark, Rainek? I think Drake set it on this lighter. I can't tell what to do, so I'm just gonna leave it so before I mess it up. I'll see if I can tilt my lights a little bit better. I know he fixed it from Tuesday night. It was a little... Oh, I know what I can do. I can open my curtain because it is a sunshiny day. That might help with a little bit of light. There. Does that help a little bit? Yeah. Let's get some sunshine in here. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to cut the pattern of the face first. And like I've marked on you can see I've already cut one out of here. As you can see, you just need one of the face cut out because it's only on the one side. The beard, just so that if you use my pattern, just so that you know, yeah, I'm going to sing that song too. Sunshiny day. I won't sing, I promise. The hair and beard, it's actually upside down on here because that's the best way it fit to make room, is you'll only need this middle part cut out for the front part. On the back, you want to leave it solid. And I'll show you what I mean using the, I've already kind of cut these out to prep. Oop. His other eyebrow. So this is what I'm talking about. You'll only need, there, 1 and 2. Now my pattern here had a bunch of little waves at the bottom, and I found this a little too tedious, so I made this solid, and that's how it appears on the pattern that's on my Discord channel. So you can just follow that pattern instead. So as usual, the way you cut out a pattern, very easy. If you needed 2, you would fold it in half, and that you do need that for the hat. But for the face, you just need 1. So find a good place on here, pin it, and cut it out. All right. This pattern I just came up with. I've never made one of these before until this stream, and I was very, very happy with the way he turned out. I purposefully made his smile off to the side. I thought that gave him a little bit of character. But you can put it on there any way you want. You'll also need for this project of course, your Surebonder glue gun. Don't use anything other than Surebonder. They are the best. Please sponsor me. What you up to today, Rainek? Almost called you Layren. Layrena's stream is tonight. I had her on my mind. If you want to watch Steampunk Crafter, check out Layrena over on her Twitch channel tonight at 7 o'clock East. I don't know, what is she making tonight? Is she continuing with her hummingbird? She has a hummingbird. I guess it's a statue or something. It looks really cool, the drawing, the rough draft of the drawing that she made for it. It looks really neat. I can't wait to see that one finished. Awesome. how's the, are you Lindsay Sterling's protege? Is that what it is? You're going to do Lindsay Sterling wannabe there? Okay, so now let's just say we've cut everything out. That's easy enough. We have a lot of work, so I went ahead and did a couple of things ahead of time. So what we're going to do is you're going to take the beard, the front part, and place it evenly over the face. And just set it on there gently. You don't want it to stretch or anything. And we are, once again, going to use that tangerine colored, I believe I said it was 720. Yes, 720. I've already got it threaded and everything. Here we go. She's pretty crazy. Plus, she intertwines on her video. She intertwines the ballet. Nope. You're too funny. Remember, if you are active in chat today, you have an opportunity to win this cute little leprechaun all on your own. I will send it to you. Last week, our winner for the donut was Jake in chat, and I have his. He chose. I let him pick what flavored donut he wanted, and he chose the vanilla one. So I sent him an Oh No donut in the mail from last week. This project is going to take 2 weeks, so between today's stream and next Thursday's stream, I will choose a winner. If you're active in chat, you qualify. You just have to say hi. Or, you could say more. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I love cranberries. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you should do a mini concert. That'd be awesome. Okay, the stitch I'm using on this to attach the face to the beard, or the beard to the face, I guess, is a running stitch. It's hard to see against the, with the same color thread against the felt, so I have done some samples here to show you. This is a running stitch. This one, not this one. This one right here. It's hard to see there. That's better. That's a running stitch. And that's what you will use on the most of the interior stitches that we do. Okay. Oh, you know what? I need to put my readers on because I'm blind. And I'm old. So these stitches are about a little larger than 1/8, and I try to make them as uniform as possible. Now if you want to, this is slipping and I'm used to it, but if you want to, you could put a pin on that to keep it in place so you don't stitch it incorrectly or stitch it off. And I would suggest putting it on the back so that your needle and thread don't catch on it. Like that. Try to keep as little poking out as you can so the needle and thread do not catch on it as you go. So we're just going to stitch around the edge here. And then the fun part, putting on the sequins and the seed beads. Now again, you'll need a needle that has a very small head for the seed beads because they are tiny, and that needle has to be able to pass through those little beads. Now if you don't want to add the sequins, you don't have to, but I figured our little leprechaun needs some shine to him. He's always after the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so I figured he liked shiny things. So that's the direction I went. Also, as you can see below on the stream, I have my Facebook page there and my Etsy shop. I just went live with my Etsy shop a couple weeks ago, and it's already gotten some activity, which I'm very happy about. I don't really expect a lot of activity between now and throughout the summer, but because most of my craft projects are for the Christmas holiday. But if I make a couple more of these, I will definitely post them for the other holidays. I changed, it's called Aunt Anne's Tree, but I did change the wording to say that it was holiday ornaments. So any day's a holiday if you make it. So throughout I've already done a Valentine's Day pig, and I've made some whimsical things that could just be used any time of the year. And if you make them yourself, you can certainly alter them for any holiday. For example, you don't have to, on the Valentine's pig, you don't have to make him a Valentine's pig. You could put a Santa hat on him or something and make him a Christmas pig. I am making a special presentation for Aunt Anne's Tree for Nerdsmith for their drive, their sub drive during the month of April. And I am going to give them a members only video for bonus content on my bacon ornament. And in a minute I will get up and show you that. It is a special video that will only be available to the members on Nerdsmith. I can't sew and talk at the same time. I'm having issues with that. Oh well. But I am going to film that and hand it up to them by that deadline, and then there you go, no longer on vacation. Good job. Thank you for moderating from me, Rainek. You're the best. I hate to say it, but that vacation notice has been up since 2016. Kind of took a long vacation from crafting. That was the year I got back into playing a ton of Dungeons and Dragons and doing my terrain building. So I kind of let my sewing, my needlework stuff go by the wayside. But with the onset of this Twitch channel and my love of ornament making never faded, so I decided to combine everything. That mini concert's going to be so cool. I have a special shout out today for T-Girl. She is one of the Nerdsmith directors. Through my stream for Qyjari's Curious Crafts this last Tuesday, with the amount of bits she donated and the donation straight from my Amazon wish list, we have all of the bundles ready for the youth choir fundraiser on the 17th, speaking of St. Patty's Day. I was at their rehearsal last night, and the youth are going to sing Don't Stop Believin', kind of in the Glee style. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. They were very good. These are talented kids. This helps support their youth choir tour in the summer. My daughter, who's in that choir, is going to also sing. She auditioned for and got a solo act at that show. She's going to be singing My Jolly Sailor Bold a cappella. Although I say a cappella, the director, one of the directors, heard her at the audition, and they might put some cellos to her singing. They're might coordinate that with the orchestra, and that would be really cool. That would be really cool. So I had to buy front row tickets for that. Of course, I have to help work it, so I bought front row tickets for Littlest and Crow is what I did. They can sit and enjoy the dinner and hopefully film her. It does, doesn't it? Especially if there's a couple of cellos. Have you ever seen those two cello guys? They have an awesome video of them doing the Pirates of the Caribbean. It is so good. Go check it out after the stream. After the stream. So we'll have 3 D&D bundles for the auction, valued at around $90 retail price for each set. So thanks to Bill Hart at World of Hearthron and T-Girl, and I had an anonymous donor of one of the players' handbooks. These, because they fought over the one last year. Not fought. There was a heavy bidding on the item we contributed last year, which was, thanks to Wizards of the Coast, sent a huge bundle of Dungeons and Dragons books, including the full set of beginning, or the manuals. I'm going to tie that off in the back, as I usually do. I just put a stitch through a previous stitch, and before it ends, I pull the needle through that loop, and that forms its own knot. Let me get that up there for you. Just like that. And then I always run the needle through and snip it there. I never snip the... Oh, I can't find one there. There we go. And then I snip it there. I never snip it close to the knot, just in case I miss and actually hit the knot, and then it becomes unraveled. We don't want that. Okay, so there is the beard attached to the face. Now we can add the sequins. And I think this needle will go through the sequins and the beads. We'll find out. I also want to show you a trick for securing the sequins on that sort of ensures that they don't ever come loose. Sometimes if you don't tie a thick enough knot at the end, like I've done that here, and I have a trick to do that where I take my finger and thumb and wrap it, and then I kind of roll it off and knot it, and that usually ends up with a very, very thick knot at the end. There, you can see that. But I thought of another idea to show you. I do this all the time, but I didn't think about sharing it. And that is to loop it through itself on the back side. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's get our sequins out here. Let me move the eyes. We don't need those yet. Okay, so as you can see, I didn't put them that close to the top because this part of the beard goes under the hat. So we don't want to put them right up to the top. So I'll probably put the first one, like I did on this sample, right about here. And I just sort of scattered them all over. So the needle goes through, and then you're going to put it through the sequins, cup side up. I think we can't remember if we call that concave or convex. I need to write this stuff down. And then the seed bead, and then you go back through the sequins, skipping the bead because that is attached that way. So back through the other side, and here's where the trick is. Now, so that knot doesn't get pulled through, we're actually going to loosen it a tiny bit, and we're going to run the needle through the two. Well, let me just look at this a little closer to my eyes. There. Run that through like that, and that way there's no way that's going to go through that. My ornaments are not meant for children. They are meant for adult use only, meaning I would be very cautious handing it to a child to play with as a toy. And just simply because there are small parts on each of them that could cause a choking hazard. So just use your best judgment. If you make one and allow a child to play with it, just be careful. All right. Same with pets. Pets might go right through this. I know. Yeah, these are not electronics, so they probably would be very bored with it sooner than later. They would not play with it long enough to chew anything off of it. I have a hard stop today at 2 o'clock, and I won't get done with this. It is a longer project. That one didn't go through the needle, so I'll set that one aside. But that's okay, because I've actually... Well, that's not going through either. I've actually scheduled to finish this next week, so we'll just enjoy the crafting time together. I just realized also on Twitch they have a I had to, you know, every time you put together your Twitch, you put down the whoopsie, three tags to give it, and they don't have a lot for crafting. In fact, they have makers and crafting, which is what this one's under, but they don't have any other kind of crafting that suits what I do here. Except I finally found one called Fiber Arts, and I'm like, well, is that what I'm doing? Is this fiber? And then yes, looking at the description, they mean fabric. I'm like, oh, I could have been using that this whole time. So there's a one for if Lorena does any kind of fabric in her steampunk stuff, she can definitely use Fiber Arts as a tag, as long as our audience understands that's what it's for. I'm excited for this Sunday. We are concave, down in a cave. Okay, I'll remember that. Bowed out toward you. So convex. So we want these sequins convex with the bowl up. The curve up. I am finally getting to play some Dungeons and Dragons this weekend, and I am so excited. This will be the first game I've gotten to play in this year. Our Thursday group has not been able to schedule everyone together at the same time because, you know, I play with a lot of working adults who just have families and just are very busy, but I miss it. My oldest son, not Drake, Drake is my second son, but his older brother is running Curse of Strahd for me. His brother and sister have already played through, but they want to play again. So I'll be heading down on Sunday to my son and his fiance's house. I think there's 5 players. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm going to play a drow hunter. Of course, I always play a hunter. Duh. And I'm very much looking forward to actually playing. I don't expect to survive. I don't expect this character to survive. Strahd is supposed to be a difficult campaign, especially with a dungeon master like my oldest. He's very talented dungeon master. He lives kind of far away, though, to meet more frequently. Oh, that bee just bounced off somewhere. I don't know. And then, of course, at the end of the month, we're heading down to sunny Florida, where I will be taking a break from Dungeons and Dragons streaming, but not taking a break from Aunt Anne's Tree streaming. I am going to be producing a stream from the lanai. I guess that's what old people call their back porch. It's a screened porch at my mother's house. My brother, the Real Tranquil, he's on here a lot. He also plays Dungeons and Dragons and does a lot of D&D crafting. Is getting married. So I'm heading down there. I try to talk him into doing another streaming game with D&D with the Banana Brothers, but I think he's going to be a little busy. So I'm just going to do a little... This is another strangely named house feature. Yes, a lanai. Lanai. It's harder to spell than foyer. Rannick and I go way back. Rannick came to the house with his wife for a visit, and I was showing them around our house, and I said, "This is the foyer." Oh, what? Oh my goodness, remember those days? That was forever ago. I don't ever say, I call it a back deck. Don't worry. I'm not making fun of you. You know better. That's kind of close to the edge there. I'm not putting them close to the edge because I want to be able to do that blanket stitch around. But I did small blanket stitches on this one, so I think I could put a sequin there and not have it interfere with the blanket stitch. So we're just gonna go around. Rainick, you are the only one chatting on today's stream. Guess who's probably gonna win this thing? We can drum up some more viewers for next week, but Rainick is probably gonna. Although it makes sense for you to get it. Yeah. Makes sense for you to get it. With your red-headed family, with your Irish background. It would be perfect. I mean, kinda, yeah. I mean, kinda. I don't know, what is your heritage? What is your, if we did a ancestry DNA thing, where would they find that your family is from? I know I'm a little bit of everything. I have Irish and Scottish and English and Finnish, actually. My grandmother was born in Finland. So some Scandinavian. Yeah, it's hard unless you do one of those little kits, and then they can do it. But it's more fun to actually hear about your own members of the family and not just what blood you happen to have or DNA you happen to have. One of my uncles, I think, helped one of my great aunts finish a book she was writing about my father's side of the family, and he was actually my father, I forget how many generations ago, but one of his ancestors actually invented the spinning jenny, which was the precursor to the cotton gin. So that's kind of my only claim to fame, except that I know that one of a distant cousin still in England is an actress. And that's my only familial claim to fame. Okay, we have finished with our sequence. That took a lot less time than the first time when I was still kind of guessing what I was doing. All right, we have about 25 more minutes. We can do a lot more then. All right, so let's go ahead and sew on his cute little mouth. And I've already got my glue gun on, so we can do that too. We could glue his eyebrows on. I didn't sew the eyebrows because it's such a tiny piece. The stitching would definitely cover up how cute those eyebrows are. So, oops, I got a little bit of a, I call them little wisps. The little bit of glue gun that comes off. So I'm going to do the eyes. That's using the black, where'd my black thread go? Take my glasses off. Oh, here it is. I buried it underneath the tangerine thread. The DMC floss that I use, like all embroidery floss, comes with a strand of 6. I use 2 of the 6, and I usually have them already separated out. This one is not yet separated out. 2 strands have been removed, so I have 4 strands left. So I will, this is a gentle process, separate those. Just run a finger through the separated strands and untangle as you go. Don't try pulling, it'll just knot it all up, and that would be bad. The Fraser clan, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I think my my husband's family is German with Palmer. I think that's a Germanic last name. Where'd I put that needle? I'll put it back. All right, let's get a small needle for this. Now, the face, the smile rather, it's a running stitch, but it, and I'm sure it's called something else. I don't study this stuff. I just try to remember stuff as I go along. It's a running stitch, but then I will go back over it and cover up the gaps between the running stitch to fill it in. But this smile is actually, looks like 4 tiny little running stitches all together, and I will show you how to do that. All right, Aranik, since you are the only one talking in chat right now, I am going to let you decide if the smile needs to be crooked like it is on this little guy, or if you want it centered. So you tell me where you want that. And in the meantime, I will sew on the eyes. Again, these are 3mm black beads. I did not do matte. You like the crooked smile? Yeah, it gives it character. Alright, we'll do the smile first then. No, we'll do the eyes first, then we know how to put the smile on. Okay, so I put the eyes right at this little indent of his hairline right there. And that made room for the eyebrows above it, so right about there. Again, I'm going to do that trick that I did with the sequins by putting this back through, and then before this becomes tight, I'm going to separate those two threads that I tied at the end and run my needle through there. And that just gives it a little extra oomph at the back there. I always sew 3 times through the beads, especially something like the 3mm beads, simply just because they're a little bit of bigger choking hazard. I don't want them to come off his face. Okay. Now here, this is important too. I used a piece of flesh-colored felt, and this is obviously a Caucasian flesh, because our little Irishman, I should probably add freckles too, just like me. If this were a very thin felt, which I try not to buy thin felt, I try to buy the thickest ones that are easy to work with, and I put that black thread underneath, it might show through, and I don't like that. However, this is a thicker piece, so I'm going to just run this thread across and hold it up, and I don't think you can see that black thread, so I'm not going to worry about it. But if it did show through, I would tie the knot off there and create, even though it's right next to it, I would create another knotted area here for it, because I don't like that thread to show through. But I did get a thicker piece of felt for this project. Okay. And because of that, I don't have to worry about going back through, because it's attached right there. Going through that knot at the end. And there's 2. I'm trying to get tricky. I'm putting it through the... There it goes. The bead at the same time. Okay. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to run that down the length of his face. Oh, I guess you can't see it. You could have I held it up to the light, but no, I think I'm just going to tie it off. I don't want to take any chances that it shows through somehow. Okay. Tie that off. Run it through a previous stitch, and then clip it near, but not on the knot. Alright, let's do his crooked smile. We voted crooked, right? Yeah. It does give him character. Okay, so I did this a little bit lower, like right about here. As you can see, I did not mark this on the pattern at all. I just kind of wing it. Again, there's that running stitch, but instead of going to the next one, I'm going to run that back through the previous hole, just like that. This one's easy. Aww. There we go. Nope, that's catching on the... There we go. There we go. I can't do an Irish accent, or I would. Something about Bigora and Blarney Stone. I don't know. I would make a terrible dwarf in D&D since I can't do an Irish accent or Scottish accent. Okay, tie that off. And through there. Okay, now we can put on his little rosy cheeks. And you just need a red or pink if you'd like. I chose red. It doesn't show up quite red on the felt. Colored pencil. And just start out. I would stretch it as I'm holding it because I want to stretch it out a little bit. Just casually make some circles where you want. Be very gentle though. It's easier to make it light at first and darker as you go, because you don't want to poke a hole through or make. Oh, there. That little Irish complexion with this little rosy cheeks. There, and that's all you need. Ta-da! All right, so let's get his eyebrows on. This is a little trickier. What time is it? This is a little trickier because we have time. These are tiny little pieces. Now here's the fun part. You can choose to do what I've done here with his eyebrows and make him kind of wistful happy. You could do a worried. It's sort of like playing with emojis. That's a little worried. That was like Snoopy, actually. You can make him a little concerned. That looks kind of cute. This, I don't think I put this on the pattern. I don't think I put the eyebrows on the pattern. I just sort of did just kind of clipped them out. So maybe I should add that to the pattern. What do you think, Rainick? That's a fine crooked smile, Bagora. Really? You are too funny. Something Bagora, yeah. Alright, since you're probably going to win this one, Rainick, how do you want this? No guarantees. Could get a ton more viewers next week. What do you think? Eyebrows. Like those? Like that? Alright. Alright, I do too. Okay, let's clean off my glue gun before I pick that up and mess it up. Alright, so I have it on, and the tip is fine, but if it wasn't, if it was a little drippy, I would take my silicone pad here and just give the tip a nice clean, just kind of rub it off. So you don't get some of that darker kind of burned glue on there. Make sure you have clear glue sticks in there, and very gently, of course I say that and then I flip it around. On the back side, you don't want too much glue on there. On the very center of it, just a tiny little bit. And once you put it down, that's it. I showed you, I think during the Valentine's Pig episode, how you could potentially fix a glue gun spot on your ornament. But it is not easy, and you do not want to have to redo all this just because you messed up on the eyebrows. Now, if you're nervous about it, or if you just don't mind waiting a while while it glues, you can just use regular Elmer's glue. You don't have to use a glue gun. Once again, using my Surebonder, they don't have a lot of drips on, they don't have a lot of dripping. Oh, look at that. I love it. That's perfect. I shouldn't brag about my own stuff, but I did. All right, these beads didn't go through the needle. I'm tossing them. Don't want to fight with them again. Okay, so I showed you this last time, or every time actually, how to make one of these, but I'll show you again. You take about 3 inches of ribbon. I just leave it attached to the spool, and well, it's a little more than 3 inches, about 4 inches, and you just make it a knot on itself with that closed part at the top, like that opening there. Tighten it, and then clip it underneath the knot, and you've got the next one ready for the ornament you make with the green hat. But now we are going to attach the back of his hair to the front. Now, whenever you sew two pieces together and one piece, these were definitely cut from the same pattern and cut at the same time actually, and I just cut the center out of the top one. But whenever you do any kind of sewing in it, it tends to draw in the felt a little bit, and you can see that because I placed this over the top, and you can see there's a little bit of difference there. And the way you can fix that, and that's why I love working with felt, is you could just give it a little bit of a tug, not too much, and it will definitely match up then as you go around, and just tug that top piece, and it will match up to the ends there so they're nice and even. Thank you, Radek. We're gonna get that Surebunder sponsorship yet, aren't we? It takes a village to get it, though. I keep meaning to tag them in my... I should tag them. I should start tagging them. Oh no, I'll wait. I know Nerdsmith is actually working on it, so I won't bug them. Of course, tagging him's not bugging them. It's just because I use them, so why not tag them? Yeah. Okay, so let's start doing... we're not going to finish the blanket stitch, but let's start going around. This is a smaller stitch because it is a... because of all the tiny little nooks and crannies in there, we don't want a large stitch. Besides, then if we did a large stitch, our stuffing might show out of it. It won't stuff very well. So we're going to do a smaller blanket stitch as we go around. And I'm just going to, as soon as I untangle my fingers from this embroidery floss, and go around, and I'll just start doing it, and however long we have, I will work on that. Where are my needles? I can't see anything. Oh, there they are. I'm losing it today. I'm losing my voice too for some reason. I've got a nice crock pot of chicken noodle soup going in the works upstairs. It seems like everyone in my family has caught a little cold or bug or something. Oh, there's a knot in there. Well, that's at the end there enough that I'm going to snip that. Okay. So I've got a nice... It's cold here too in Atlanta. It's in the 20s. I know I shouldn't complain. I know where you are, Raynick. But for me, this is cold. Is it? It's cold there? You're not in Bora Bora by the sunny beach? Your kids are going to have to go back to school and or stay at school through July at this point, with all those snow days you guys had. Okay, starter stitch as usual. I'm actually going to go off the top on this one because this is where it'll be stuffed, and this doesn't matter so much because this part is going under the hat. But my starter stitch is always from the inside out, go without the top. You can see the needle on the back side, but not the side that you'll see when the finished product is done. Are we gonna add Bagora to everything for the next 2 weeks? Thank you for joining me today, Bagora. Okay, let me show you a blanket stitch real quick. I know my regular viewers, Radek, has seen it before, but that's okay. I'll show it to you anyway. If you're watching on YouTube, then maybe you haven't seen it before. This is what a blanket stitch looks like. We made that first stitch coming out like I did here, and then we're just going to go across, or go down into there first, and then go across and just keep making a little bit of a square. And these are the corner stitches. I'll show you those. We don't really have a corner here, but if we had a corner, I would show you how to do those. I'm going to do that too, Raynick. I'm going to say Bagora after everything for the next 2 weeks. At least on the stream. It'll drive Drake nuts. Bagora. Although we might tick off a contingency of leprechauns. Of course, I can't believe you haven't mentioned anything about Lucky Charms this whole time. Rainik is so sweet. He works from home during some days on the week, and he happens to be working from home on Thursdays when my show airs, so he is so sweet to just come in and keep me company while I do this. He has little to no interest in handcrafting, except that he supports me and his wife, who does a lot of handcrafting with the steampunk stuff. So I appreciate my good friend. Rainik streams. He just changed your schedule, didn't you? You're going to start streaming on Friday nights after my 3 Sheets one-shot. Bagora. Yeah, that's great. That gives me a great segue into your on Friday nights. I can raid 3 Sheets one shot can then raid you over on your channel. Are you gonna just do multi games Friday nights, or I can't remember what you said, if you're gonna do a specific game or just whatever happens to float your boat? Rainik is also going to be providing a bunch of moderation when we do our special one-shot D&D episode on March 16th. It is the Band of Bothers. I don't have that graphic to show on this screen because that's typically I don't have a lot of D&D viewers on my crafting stream. But if you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons and watching it, we are going to be live streaming it just the one night, and it's going to be live here in our D&D room in the studio. And Drake is running that. I am currently in the process of building a secret terrain for that one shot. It will be revealed. Maybe I'll even put some before and after pictures of that build, because it's kind of unique the way it's coming together. In fact, I had to clear this table off from Qyjari's Curious Crafts the other night, and my craft table, which is in that room over there, has more stuff. Even my Proxon machine's over there, because I've been working on that the last couple of days. I should probably get some laundry done though. Oh, that's right. You're gonna do the Stardew Valley on Wednesday nights now. Is that what I read? Okay. Well, let me know ahead of time so when we skip over to or raid your channel from 3 Sheets one shot, we can shout out the game that you're going to be doing if you know it ahead of time. You know, there's a group of us, friends new and old, who try to support each other's streams as much as possible, so we specifically don't stream on each other's nights. I'm introducing a new program though to this channel called Learning Recurve. What time is it? I'm just babbling on and on. All right, we have 5 minutes. It's one of my producers or a special guest will be on, and one of us will teach the other how to do something. Whether it's drawing through Del Mori, because she's volunteered to be one of my guests. I can't wait. That'll be hysterical. Or me teaching Drake how to craft D&D terrain. Or maybe I'll get the Real Tranquil. Once again, he's been on this show before. To build another creature. He's recently built Orcus and some other D&D baddies. So we're going to do that once a month, called Learning Recurve. And Del Mori actually just gave me the final piece of art for that logo. I can't wait to show it off. That show starts in the summer. We're going to start that in probably mid-June sometime. Because the spring is just hecka busy. Very busy for this family. Especially with the wedding at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to it. Where else can you go to get free booze? Or are you going to try to stream those board games? Or is that not on the horizon for you? I know you tried that once. I didn't know if that was something you were going to continue to do. Or is that just going to be a family thing? Spring's always busy for us too, just because of school activities. Spring concerts, and in fact, Clover has a concert tonight. I can't even remember what it is, if it's orchestra or chorus. By the time they're in 8th grade, they kind of just go off on their own. At least mine do. I don't know if that's a good thing, or... Oh, I gotcha. Okay, that'll be fun. I gotcha. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I wish Crow liked to play more board games. We had to build a board game for a book that Littlest read at school based on the story, and that was fun. It was one of the first projects we've had to do. She's in 4th grade. That's one of the first projects we got to do together, and of course I went over the top. Because that's what I do. Alright, we're going to stop right there so I can give shout outs to what else happens on this channel this week. Of course, if you're active in chat, you can win. So this is your last 5 minutes for this stream to say something if you're just lurking. I love my lurkers, don't worry. You can stay silent if you want, it's fine. Again, on my Facebook and Etsy, links are below. Not links, but the sites, but the links are down further below. Down that way. And 3 Sheets 1 Shot tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And Qyjari's Curious Crafts, we are continuing our build on Miramore. I don't think I have a Facebook thing made yet. Yeah, sorry. Miramore is our partially submerged, and we just started the partially submerged part, which I'm very excited about. And that's on next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And of course tonight, tune in to see Leyrena at 7 o'clock. She's working on her steampunk hummingbird statue, so that'll be really cool. Thank you, Rainick. Thank you so much. I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me and being a part of this. And we will continue our work on Mr. Leprechaun next Thursday. See you guys later.